guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. It is April 1st and what a show we had for you today. We talked diet tips for Ramadan, the Eid holiday, public sector announced 9 days, and did Taylor Swift release a song with Lovin Dubai?
I mean, you would not want to miss the episode. So if you are not subscribed to the Lovin Dubai show podcast, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from, and as always, enjoy the show.
Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. We're waking up to a 9-day Eid holiday announced for the public sector.
As well, a 14-year-old boy caught begging in Dubai.
We're talking about petrol prices rising for the month of April.
As well, we have Her Highness Sheikh Sir Alex Ferguson met His Highness Sheikh Mohammed at the races.
Later on, we're going to talk about Taylor Swift releasing a song with Lovin Dubai.
As well, the dietitian Leila Smaily shares tips to stay healthy during Ramadan. I mean, it's only 1 week, so we can be healthy.
It is day 178 since the genocide began in Gaza, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health in the Gaza Strip. The death toll has risen to 32,782, while 75,298 have been injured, and more than 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes.
Dubai iftar time for today is 6:39 p.m. You can find up-to-date prayer timings on Lovin Dubai website.
Today's weather, in case you haven't opened your curtains, it's a foggy morning. Expect the sun to shine from 3 p.m. with highs of 27 degrees. But before we get into all of that, the big story that broke across the country this weekend.
The fire, the grand big fire that has been all over social media. Now, why is it grand and big? Because usually we don't see such fires happening in Dubai. But let's say that it is managed by now. So this is actually really big for Dubai people.
I mean, yeah, the story broke and we have so many comments of people just saying, coming through, we freaked out, it was super loud, the smoke was unbelievable. Someone said, I was there on the highway, it was they said big truck accident, something bumped, but thank you to Dubai Police, probably also Dubai Civil Defence for being there super quickly. I mean, we haven't seen smoke plumes this kind of shocking in quite some time. Someone said my villa was 150 yards away from where it happened, near Arabian Ranches 3. It was very, very scary. Fair play to the emergency services for getting that under control quickly. Like, imagine being the emergency services and their families, knowing that your family is going towards that and that they're fighting it. But just a massive thank you and shout out to them for managing to get rid of the fire in a controlled manner in a super quick time.
I mean, Dubai Police and Dubai just never fails us at this point. But you're right, you know, like seeing such a fire happen is grand. It might not be grand and massive to other people, but because like it never really, or let's say it's never really, let's say it's just like it rarely happens in Dubai. So this for sure, you guys, I can assure you, concerned a lot of residents, as you said, specifically in Dubai ranches, right? And it's like, it is, I mean, look at the smoke, look at the fire. It's very rare to see such a fire actually just like break out in Dubai.
Yeah, and I think they have that, the question of how should news be reported, or when is a story a story? And you know that if something is more relatable to a person, they're more likely to click and engage. And when you see a fire of this magnitude next to a residential community, that something that looks similar to your own, I think your heart skips 5 beats because you're thinking, is that my home? But we reported the story when it went live, and then we were able to announce that it was managed effectively, which was great news shortly after. But so many on the ground reports of people hearing it, people seeing the smoke, so many videos coming through. So we're thankful to say that everything was managed swiftly.
For sure, and it's specifically like when you live in a city like Dubai, where you are very used to safety and just like everything around you is just like clean and organized and safe. So seeing such a fire will for sure concern you. You know what I mean? As you said, it can be, you're like, oh my God, it's either a car that just like, I don't know, like exploded from the heat or something like that, or it could be a house that just like went on fire. And for sure, as I said, and I say it again, residents were actually concerned.
Yeah, of course. These things can happen, as you said, people who live in Dubai, but I don't think that's a... you know, there's this feeling of maybe being in a bubble sometimes, but when you see something like this, it takes you right out and brings you back down to reality. So we hope everyone was safe. And if we have more information on that, we'll bring it to you later on in the day across our social profiles. Let's jump into our top story of the morning, announced yesterday. Also, today is April 1, so all of the news that we announced, put a question mark on it. But this one has come directly from the government, so all true in this case. A 9-day Eid holiday announced for the public sector. So big news. The UAE cabinet has mandated a 1-week Eid al-Fitr holiday for the federal government employees. Government employees will enjoy paid leave from Monday to Sunday from April 8th to April 14th, which is pretty huge, with work resuming on Monday, April 15th.
Now, in recent years, government and private sector workers typically enjoy the same holiday dates each year, but the announcements remain separate. Now, keep your fingers crossed for a similar announcement sometime this week for private sectors, which I'm very excited for, honestly.
Same. I think, I don't know about you, but I thought it was going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that would be a 4, plus if you get the weekend, a 6-day break. This really makes it a lot longer.
Yeah.
Previously, public and private sector holidays weren't the same, but there was a mandate a couple of years ago that for the most part they've always been. There's separate announcements. So
we're waiting. I'm waiting. I mean, we do deserve it after Ramadan, right? I mean, come on, like you guys, think about it.
You do, and I'll just tag along.
It's fine, it's fine. You fast it for a day. I'll give it to you. No, but seriously, you guys, like, I mean, after fasting and waking up that early for suhoor, and then fasting for long hours without food, and your brain just like shutting off and working while your brain
This is Taylor Swift, and I am loving the ride.
Like midday at noon. I mean, that is hard. So please, God, be nice. Give us, please, just do us.
So like, I can't empathize. Never done it, but I can't imagine how mentally challenging fasting for that length of time is. We are going to have a dietitian later on in the show to talk about various tips and things, because I think you can feed your brain as well, right? Is there like, maybe we can ask her that, like if there's tips like you can actually, maybe if you're eating too much sugar, it might give you a lag, but maybe if is there brain foods for fasting, I wonder?
There is, by the way. There's a lot, and there is as well like drinks that you should things that you should avoid at suhoor, and things that you should focus on. But either way, like if you think about it in this way, that when you are, let's say you had suhoor, and then you're working throughout the day, you just you just can't help it. You just can't help it. But your brain's gonna lag, which is why a lot of people like on the roads are like there's like road rage happening because like their brains lag. I think.
No, 100%. As in like you function, your brain functionality reduces, and that affects people in a different way. For me, I can only concentrate on one thing if I'm tired, such as today. Anyway, it's 9:37. Good morning to everyone watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. If you've missed some of our stories, we also go live in podcast format later on in the day, so you can catch them there.
So now I want to jump to our next story, which is very sad. Now, a 14-year-old boy caught begging in Dubai. Dubai police spotted a 14-year-old boy begging near a mosque in Dubai. And while begging is prohibited, this boy's story is quite different, as he ran away from his father's house following his parents' divorce. So it is most likely to be a reaction.
That's so sad.
It is.
Brigadier Ali Salam Al-Shamsi, Director of the Suspicious Persons and Criminal Phenomena Department of the General Department of Criminal Investigations at Dubai Police, said the child had unfortunately resorted to begging as a result of intense family disputes stemming from the divorce and his father's remarriage, which compelled him to flee the house and take to the streets. Now, the 14-year-old boy was then reunited with his mother, and as well, Brigadier Ali Salim Al-Shamsi said, after listening to the perspectives of each party, an agreement was reached for the child to reside with his mother, who would provide the best care and support for him, especially in light of his father's remarriage. Now, this decision opens the door to a fresh beginning for the child's life, filled with hope and positive prospects. Let me tell you, by the way, this is actually very sad. As I was reading the story, I was genuinely very sad for the boy, because parents, when they put a child through divorce and remarriage, they do not consider the child's, I would say. I'm sure they do, though. That's a really tricky one, because of course they're considering their children, but sometimes if a marriage is not working, it's not working.
Yeah, but then that's why you would not want to get married to someone that, you know, I don't know, like that. This is the whole point of getting to know a person, because you would not want to opt for a divorce. You know what I mean? Like I would rather not divorce the person that I'm with and put my children through like this like mental confusion.
Yeah, but that's a really tricky topic, because if you do get married and it doesn't work out, like there's two sides to that story, because or your children watch two people not getting on and not in love.
That's
so
true.
you know, it's unfortunate that people get to that point, but sometimes it's the only option.
No, I agree with you.
Although they're taking their children's consideration to heart. It's interesting because I think we've all run away from home at different points. But in this case, the scenario, it's not a, you know, it's not a cute tantrum. The reason the child felt forced to run away was probably looking for attention. I remember when I was teaching in a school here, I wasn't trained as a teacher. So my experience with kids wasn't great.
Okay.
So I was learning, and this was my first year, and I remember there was a boy and he was acting out, and he was acting out so much, like every class there was a tantrum, and, you know, tried to work with the supervisors and, you know, tried to help him as much as we could. But when we actually got to the crux of why he was throwing papers, why he was always looking for attention, why he was pulling things off the boards, why he was running around the bathrooms, why he was making noise, was actually his parents were going through a really difficult time. And I don't think they divorced, but the mum was living away. So he didn't actually have a lot of care and support at home. And when we realized that, it was easier to understand what he was going through and to give him more help. But it's quite common, I think, for children going through something rough to either look for attention or to act down in a certain way if they're concerned and they actually don't know how to express it. So even if they're getting love from both sides, they probably don't even know why they're upset, but they're upset because mum and dad aren't in the same room. So it's a really tricky one. So I hope, and I'm glad to see that there's a happy ending here, but I hope that the boy and the family are able to find the peace.
For sure. Actually, as well, I've not only done journalism, I've done psychology. And as I studied psychology at university, we've talked about how you know, like the early stages of a child, you know, like as they are infants and as well as they are growing up and so on. And as they grow up, specifically at that age, that is a very crucial age, because that is the age where like their minds is like a sponge. And because their minds are like a sponge, they just grasp everything. And it's a very awkward stage as well, because like they're trying to figure out themselves when what's around them is actually affecting them in so many ways. So that is probably what happened here, is the fact that, you know, like he is like kind of like, oh my God, I don't have a normal life, my mom and dad are not together, and so on. And a lot of hormones happen because it's in his like teenage years. He's 14, he's going through that awkward stage. So yeah, that's probably what happened, but it's actually a very sad story. However, as I said, it is a happy ending. And by the way, a mother is very essential in a child's life. She is, because a mother is like, fine, a dad provides in a way and a mother provides in a different way, but a mother is a very essential, I would say.
They both are.
Part. Yes, they both are.
But we know that it's possible to find a happy home in either regard. So if divorce does happen, you know, the kids can find a happy life after.
For sure.
So we hope that this child does, and that he doesn't need to run away from home anymore. Let's jump into petrol prices. We have some not so much fun news on the petrol front.
Yes, so petrol prices will be rising this April. Now, here are the latest updates on food prices. Starting today, motorists across the UAE will be seeing a hike in petrol prices. Super 98 petrol will be priced at 3.15 per litre, up from 3.03 back in March. Special 95 petrol will cost 3.03 per litre compared to 2.92 dirhams previously.
E-Plus 91 petrol will be charged at 2.96 per litre, and that's up from 2.85. However, there is some relief for diesel users as prices are set to drop by 7 fils a litre. Diesel will now be priced at 3.09 a litre, down from 3.16. However, the rest of petrol are seeing a jump there. So not great news if you're on the roads, but it's again once a small jump, and we're still lucky to have quite low petrol prices comparatively with countries around the world.
At this point, I think maybe I'll just like use the metro. It is why the prices are going
if you can use the metro.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know what's really like, I would say like gets me to go like, ugh, do I really want to use the metro? Do I not want to use the metro? Is the fact that, you know, it can get really crowded. Yeah. Which is like...
I think that's just life though. Like if you live next to a metro station, it's a possibility. Like it's efficient, it's clean, it's fast. Yeah. You know exactly the times. It's not like, you know, there's you have a bus versus a metro. Like on the metro, the times are quite specific. Yes, it gets busy during rush hour, but I think that's just a fact that's a fact in every top city in the world. If you live next to one, I think you usually pay for that because obviously it's quite convenient living next to one. But if you can use the metro, because also environmentally it's better, less cars on the road. I can't wait for the metro system to evolve so it goes to more areas and more people have the opportunity to use it. Because I think getting a taxi to a metro or getting a bus to a metro is less convenient. But if you live next to one, great news. I
mean, I don't know, because for me, what I like to get in the car and I like to put my music and just like, you know, just like vibe and just like go around the road and feel like, I don't know, I'm in a movie or something. I mean, I'm delusional, but...
You could have your, I'm in a movie on the metro, you're looking out the window, watching the skyline to go by, and the view on the metro is fab.
Yeah, but you don't always get, I don't know, a seat to sit down in.
Yeah, I know. Such is life. 9:45 on a Monday morning. Let's jump into a big story. This weekend, by the way, our feeds were filled with so much amazing things going on in Dubai. And of course, none other than Dubai World Cup, where we saw royals gather. Here you can see the ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai attending. And one person who got to meet him was in fact Sir Alex Ferguson. So the world's richest race happened this weekend, the Dubai World Cup. It was quite the star-studded event. We saw many influencers, members of the royal family, and we got a glimpse of two of the most respected leaders of all time, both lovers of racing. So His Highness Sheikh Mohammed met Sir Alex Ferguson. We also saw Dubai Princess, Her Highness Sheikha Mahra, Dubai Bling stars LJ and Farhana Bodhi, and TV presenter Wala Al-Faig, and also finally Swedish footballer Zlatan Ibrahimovic was there, along with Ali K and Hisham, who were at the races.
I mean, they were celebrities, no?
How was it, guys? How was it? Ali's saying it was like the movies. I don't know if you could hear on Instagram. How so? That's what, I don't know if Instagram could hear, but Ali's saying he missed a bit of the horse races, but it was just cool to see. So, like, you don't even need to go to watch the horse racing.
That's true. You can go there, just like have like your cap and feel like a royal in a way. Because like everyone, like I know for a fact that everyone just like dresses with like these big, beautiful hats and like dresses and so on. And just like, why weren't we there?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We have the ruler of Dubai tweeted after horse racing enthusiasts from east and west and south and north of the world met in one of the world's most prestigious horse races. We congratulate the owner of the horse, Laurel River, who won the most expensive rounds of Dubai World Cup, and we are happy with this annual gathering that brings together the best and fastest horses in the world to Dubai. He posted a great image on his Twitter, so you should see it if you're watching our main show on Facebook. And just one of the biggest horse racing events of the year. It was well attended. The rain held off, and it was such a good day.
I mean, I'm quite sure. You know, I've always wanted to go there. I've always because I have my teacher back in university who's as well a TV presenter for a media company. She was there and I was like, ugh, I'm so jealous. I mean, why am I not there? I mean, am I missing out?
You got FOMO, you got racing FOMO, but you were sick over the weekend. I mean, you needed a rest.
Yeah, oh my God, I was sick. But you know, I have like this thing, I actually have severe FOMO to a lot of things. It's like whenever like there's a concert, even if I don't like the person, I'm just like gonna be like, why wasn't I there? And I knew for a fact, I'm like, ugh, I would want to go there and dress up and have like this beautiful hat and just like look elegant and look just like the vibe. But yeah,
this happens every weekend in Dubai. It gets to Monday and people are like, I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know this was on, and this was peak FOMO for a lot of people. Yes. But an incredible event. Some beautiful pictures of people just enjoying the races online, which you can see them. But it's 8, 9.
Oh, it's
Have the clocks gone back?
The
clocks have gone back in the UK, which means the clock at our studio has also God forward. It's 8:50 this morning on a Monday morning on April 1st. Let's jump into our next story. Taylor Swift. 50s, Swifties? Swifties unite. Taylor Swift. Swifties. Taylor Swift just released a song with Lovin Dubai. So while Swifties have been praying for the Eras Tour to come to the UAE, Taylor Swift has gone one step further and released a song with Lovin Dubai.
Now the song dropped just hours ago, trust me you guys, and it's already racking up views. She visited, the Lovin Dubai studios in Production City, and I met her personally to record the track, of course, deemed the Lovin Dubai anthem. I'm not gonna.
Let's take a listen.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to.
Let's take a listen.
I don't.
Walked in, but in Dubai's embrace I find where I begin. From the streets of New York to the sands of Dubai, every heartbeat a melody under the Arabian sky. In the rhythm of the city, I find my soul ignite. In the embrace of Dubai, where dreams take flight. Walking down the boulevard in the Dubai heat, neon lights shining bright with every beat. I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
Taylor Swift, what have you done to my ears? Why?
This is so real, you guys. It's so real.
Jumping into the comments of the post that was released 1 hour ago, we've got Dialer Sipped, April Fools, WTAF, my ears, Prima April Fools, Happy April Fools. Do you guys have a committee coming up with cheesy content? Yes, we do. So it is April 1, and yes, Taylor Swift, we were lucky. Can we just get a moment for Begad on the team who created this video, by the way? Because I know it was a cheesy April Fools, and this is AI, but I think this is epic.
But Casey, we weren't supposed to just tell them it's April Fools like that. We should have just went with it and been like, hey.
This is Taylor Swift, and I am loving the way.
I saw the comments.
Oh my God! But you guys, honestly, this is not song that Taylor Swift. To all Taylor Swift haters, this is not. This okay, fine. It might sound a bit like Taylor Swift, but it's not very Taylor Swift.
But I'm more impressed with the video. Is it real or AI? Tell me. Rich, is this video real or AI? So it's a video of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But the AI that we've used is to the anthem. Which I think is pretty cool. So
Walking down the boulevard in a Dubai heat, neon lights shining bright with every beat. I knew you were trouble when you walked in,
and I think they did a great job.
but in Dubai's embrace I find where.
Maybe it's time for her to just announce her coming to Dubai. It's
Exactly.
خلاص, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
خلاص, everyone wants Taylor here. No, she's not coming. She's gonna go to. She recently announced her performing at Turkey in 2025, and I'm like, fine. If she announced that, she will for sure announce her coming to Dubai.
And she's meant to be dropping an album this month. It's meant to be coming in April, so we thought it was pretty apt.
Yes.
If you've seen any other big April Fools, send them throughout the day. We're waiting for the biggies. I saw one and I fell for it. I fell for it this morning. The Chris Fade show released an image of Pretty Malik, and they were like, 14 years, time has come to an end. We thank you so much for your hard work, Pretty. Tune in to see why she has left the show. And I was like, that's a story we need to cover. But no, you got me. April Fools.
But stay awake, and you guys don't just get fooled today. I'm not gonna trust anything. I'm not gonna trust anything today. Actually, nothing. If anyone tells me anything, I'm gonna be like, what? No, it's April Fools. I don't trust you.
Well, let's hold off because we are going to talk to a dietitian about staying healthy during the holy month of Ramadan, and you can trust her. Her name is Leila Smaily, and she'll be with us after this very short break. Please stay tuned. The Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Leila Smaily. She's a clinical dietitian, and she's here to share expert advice on staying healthy throughout the holy month of Ramadan. We're so excited to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, first of all, I know that Ramadan's going to end in a week. Yeah. But what are the top tips that you can give us to continue I don't know,
The
our
the
healthy
last
journey.
stretch. Yeah,
Yes, of
usually,
Ramadan.
when we get to the last 10 days or week, it just gets harder because everyone's kind of drained, a bit of dehydrated, the energy is a bit less. So I kind of just say, listen to your body, and kind of like start really trying to avoid like sugary drinks because that's just going to make you happy, less energetic. Try to pick up a bit of your workout routine again. Just before iftar or after iftar, try to sleep a bit more, so just to kind of give you a bit more energy through the last few days, because it's really hard. And this year, I don't know, from patients and everyone, I feel like it's harder than every year, and I don't know what it is. It's the weather, or I don't know what it is. And with a lot of gathering, it doesn't make it easier.
Of course.
Yeah.
I wonder, after fasting for this length of time, is there any kind of deficiencies that your body might notice? So if you've fasted for 20 days and your entire diet has changed, are you deficient in certain things, and should you consider that as you break your fast?
You know what? Yeah, if you're not having the right amounts of food, obviously from all food groups, you're probably gonna get deficient, because a lot of people in Ramadan skip suhoor, so they're actually having like one meal maybe and a few snacks. You're eating less protein, so a lot of people lose muscle mass in Ramadan. A lot of people are iron deficient. They get iron deficient a bit because they don't eat as much red meat and iron, rich foods, and so on. So yes, deficiencies do happen, and we do have to take them into consideration, especially in the young ones who are not really watching their whole diet. And we tend to eat more carbs in Ramadan, so that also sometimes it's like, empty calories, like in sugar drinks and desserts and so forth. So yeah, we're not getting a full nutrient-rich diet as we do outside of Ramadan, because the window is not that big, right? Yeah, because we're breaking our fast around 6:30, and if you're sleeping early, let's say, that's a few hours, so people don't tend to get hungry, and then you have suhoor, you can only eat so much, but on the other hand, you have people who stay up all night and feast all night and then sleep during the day. I mean, so it really varies how you're doing it.
So, of course, because it's Ramadan, so as you said, there are a lot of gatherings happening. And after gatherings, what happens is people have, let's say, the iftar, and then just like an hour later, a taif comes, the dessert comes, atayef, knafi, and all of these things, they just like come, and it's like you're eating a lot, and it's a lot of sugar, right? But then it's like, it does not only fill you up, like you have like, let's say, like suhoor later on, and then you get like full, but then the next day it's like, oh yeah, you get really thirsty, and then people go like, oh yeah, you're thirsty because you had like sugary like suhoor and sugary things. So what is like the right, because like a lot of people go like, if you actually have this for suhoor, and if you have this like after iftar and after so on, you are most likely not to get thirsty or hungry.
Okay, I'll tell you what. The first thing that you want to do not to get thirsty is try to get your water intake between, like iftar and suhoor. So you want to, whatever, 2 liters or 3 liters or whatever you need to drink, you need to drink that, okay? Now, for me, ideally, is having a dessert should be a few hours after iftar, like with a protein or, like a snack then, because when you have your iftar, you are so full. So if you're having something right after, you're just, your digestion won't be happy, and you're kind of expanding your stomach, right? So kind of leave it more as a snack with a protein, and then in the morning have your suhoor. But that's not ideal for everyone, right? Because of all the invitations and the gatherings and so forth. So I would kind of say, like, do it in moderation. So kind of like when, with my clients, we go through a meal plan where we kind of incorporate everything with your calorie needs, right? So I don't tell anyone not to have any dessert. That would just be not realistic, right? So we have to incorporate, small amounts in moderation to kind of feel satisfied, but at the same time, according to your goals, to fit into your meal plan.
So interesting. So you create a meal plan for people specifically for Ramadan as well?
Yes,
so
I do.
So what are the steps involved to creating that?
Okay, so we would start off as suhoor. So you'd have a protein and fiber-rich meal for suhoor, to kind of keep you up for a few, for a few hours, which would have like legumes, yogurt, oats, eggs, it would be really rich in protein and fiber with a fruit or, something like that. And would have water, of course, at that meal. And then when it comes to iftar, some people like to break it up, some people like to have it at once. So we can either do it both ways, but it would be like, a set thing where you would have your date. So we would have a choice of dates. And then you would have your whatever samosas you're gonna have. So I always tell my patients that if you're gonna have it fried, have half the portion. If it's baked, you can have the full portion that's there. You'd have your soup, your salad, and then main course, which is what everyone would have. But when you kind of incorporate it into certain amounts and it fits into your calorie balance, then you know how much to eat and how much you're allowed. So you're more on track during Ramadan. And then we have a snack later on, which can be healthy if you're home, like fruits and nuts and all that. And then if you're invited, you can pick a few things that you like in terms of desserts. But I never say no to desserts because I know it, in Ramadan, everyone's going to have it. So I might as well put it in moderation on the menu.
Sure.
Yeah.
That for sure is a thing. I mean, atayif is like, you can never say no to atayif.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially like when you're fasting all day, your body kind of craves sugar. So, you want to have it within a good portion. And the other thing too about hydration that you guys were asking me, so it's very important to avoid like processed foods, high sodium foods for suhoor especially, so you don't get thirsty all day.
Speaking of that, what is like the right meal that we should have for suhoor that can keep us on our feet for like longer hours regarding like work, and as well not feel as thirsty, throughout the day? Because as throughout the day, let's say like people go to work and they just like shut down midday.
Yeah.
How can we avoid shutting down?
Look, I mean, your body adjusts. Like if you'll notice at the beginning of the Ramadan, it's really hard because you have caffeine withdrawal and all that, and you're like so tired. And then you'll find like midway your body picks up, you get used to it. But if you ask me like what are 2 meals for suhoor that will really keep you full, is eggs and fool. Like fava beans, they really make you full for quite a bit of time. So you'll feel satisfied, and not hungry for a while. So those 2 things, I feel like they sit in there. Yeah, especially eggs because it's quite high in protein. It has some fat, so it's done healthy way, like a good omelet. It really keeps you going for a while.
There's so much into it. So it's like if people want to kind of maintain a healthy weight, is there anything there on that? Because I think some people are concerned that they lose weight, some people are concerned that they overeat. What's the kind of the stable approach?
Stable approach would be kind of to continue what you've been doing. So if you were working out, like you would continue to work out, and you've kind of like, if you usually take 3 meals outside of Ramadan, your suhoor becomes your breakfast. If you just want to do the easy way, your suhoor becomes your breakfast, and then your other 2 meals would be either grouped into iftar and then the snacks into the snack after, or just kind of in 2 meals. Because some people can't eat so much at iftar, so they break it up into 2 meals. The majority gains weight in Ramadan nowadays. But a lot of people do take advantage, honestly. And because it is, if you take advantage of it and you detox a little bit, kind of watch what you're eating, because you're already fasting. So it's really just controlling in those non-fasting hours. So it makes it a bit easier.
To those that are so used to coffee, what is the one tip that you can, I would say, like give them to just like, I would say, like pick up without coffee, other than getting used to? Because like, for example, like for me, I would either have tea in the morning or something like that, but now that I'm fasting during Ramadan, I'm like, ugh.
It's hard. I mean, getting enough sleep, funny enough, is the number 1 thing to kind of not make you feel so tired. And before Ramadan, if you kind of wave yourself off slowly in the last week off caffeine, you won't have that feeling. But I think in Ramadan, one of the biggest things that makes everyone so tired is not getting enough sleep. because you're staying up a little bit more to eat a bit, like to have at least a window to get your snacks in, to get your water, and then you wake up for suhoor, and then maybe you wake up like with the kids, or you know, if you have work early like you guys, so it's really hard. So your sleep is interrupted, so it makes you more tired. And I think that is one of the things that make you really tired, and hydration. Yeah, if you're dehydrated, you're gonna feel tired as well.
Speaking of hydration, the couple of iftar I've been at, once you arrive, there's always the most beautiful mix of interestingly colored drinks. So maybe not like a Vimto, but they're always at iftar. There's like a dark orange and a bright red and a deep beetroot color. But when you taste them, they're specifically quite sugary.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts in approaching the drink strand at iftar? When I see that, should I just go straight for a water, or can I take a juice?
I would skip all that because they are empty calories. They're just sugar calories. They're gonna make your blood sugar spike up and then and then go back down, and then you're gonna feel hungry and crave more sugar, and then you're gonna go for more. So I would skip all that. I always advise to go for flavored water, where you have some fruits and water, and that just tastes as good if you get used to it. Now, I mean, if you're on the odd weekend, you're out and you want to have some jalab, or you know, it's okay, but don't make it a daily thing in Ramadan, especially with meals, because it's a lot of sugar. Yeah,
those are the delicious ones.
In moderation, it's okay. In moderation.
I mean, luckily I don't like them, which is actually works for my benefit, you know, because if I would like them, I would just like, you know, like chug on them. but like I have a question for you. So technically, working out,
yes,
is it good to work out before iftar or after iftar?
Okay, now if you're gonna if you're working out before iftar, you're really burning more fat, right? Because you've been fasting all day and most of your glycogen stores are depleted, so you're gonna be in a fat burning zone. But you can't do high intensity before iftar, because I mean, you might faint or get dizzy, or you know, if you're not used to it. So you would have to do moderate intensity, which is great. If you're gonna work out after iftar, which is as good, you'd have to wait 2 to 3 hours after iftar. Then you can do high intensity if you hydrate well after. So I mean, whatever works, honestly. I just say they're both as good depending what you're looking for. But just keep a workout routine, even if it's 2 to 3 times a week, because we tend to lose a bit of muscle mass in Ramadan. So it helps you maintain your muscle mass if you keep your workout routine.
It sounds like the overall summary is just everything needs to be conscious. So make a conscious effort to move, make a conscious effort to watch what you eat, because I think if you're super hungry, you just go all in, and then you probably regret it later. As we come to the end of the show, do you have a final word of advice for people coming into the last week? As you said, it's difficult, but just a final word of advice for people fasting during the Holy Month.
I would say just, you know, hang in there. Try to pull through this week. And if you have been off track or you haven't been doing great, just try to come back and, you know, try to come back on track. Even if it is the last week, it's not late, you know. Try to get more sleep, try to walk more, whatever activity you can, you know, and try to avoid fried foods and sugary drinks. Just what we say for the first, you know, or the whole part of it. But in the last stretch, you needed a bit more to get the energy going. So true. Okay, a huge thank you to Leila for joining us on the show today. Thank you, Farah, for joining us. The Lovin Dubai show is back with you live tomorrow morning from 8:30 a.m. Bye-bye.